Hello YouTube, how are we doing? I hope everybody's doing okay, getting ready for Christmas and such. It is Atticus, and I have a really cool replay. This is a ranked game. I actually had I played like 3 ranked games, lost one, won 2, and worked my way up the ladder. And yeah, this was a really cool one against the Tomb King, so I wanted to show it to you guys, and let's just jump right into it. Let's make this one a little bit shorter, because I have something really cool I want to show you with these chariots. So, the build that I took is... as usual, a Dreadlord with sword and crossbow, and I do that for both the buffs to his armor piercing. He has something called the Gilded Eye that will give plus 20 armor piercing damage, and he also has a missile, a seeking missile ability, which does a lot of damage, and he has armor piercing range, and he's just really good at lord sniping and just staying out of danger. So it allows me not to waste my micro, and I could deal with, I could spend that on cav and things like that. For my front line, for my infantry, I took 2 Hargonef executioners alongside a couple spear units on each flank here. Also, as usual, I have a couple bolt throwers. So these guys are going to be focused on any Shopti, lords, and things like that. And generally, guys, if you bring bolt throwers, always bring a couple harpies to protect them from carrion. As you can see, my opponent has brought them. Also, and this is the really cool thing about this build, and I actually learned this from MGL Amber. She showed me a replay where Lotus Moon and 13th Crusader Knight or something like that had a game, and they were using these Cold One Chariots, and they're surprisingly, I've used them before, but I kind of underestimated them, but now that I've played like 4 games with them, they are really good, guys. They could deal with your opponent's missile cav. They had the armor piercing to deal with constructs, and they can also, get the, really beefy charges in. As you can see right here, a charge bonus of 60, missile damage 102, so yeah, these guys are really good. You leave them on skirmish, and you just put them out there just to shoot, and then when an opening does, open up, then you will, put the charge, put them into combat to get the charge bonus. But yeah, they're a really good deterrent to your enemy's cav, so it's really fun to play with them. Also, I got 1, 2, 3 units of Cold One Knights, and the Cold One Knights have got a buff in the last patch to be more alongside the Lizardmen's Cold Ones, so now they're they have a lesser charge bonus, but better melee stats. So, yeah, these guys are really good anti-large. And, yeah, so I think that's my build alongside the 2 Harpies here. As for my opponent, he brought a front line of just Tomb Guard. And these, this is a really beefy front line. It's going to be hard to chew through, if I'd brought just like Bleak Swords and Bleak Swords and Dread Spears and things like that. So these guys will hold for, a pretty decent time. They have pretty decent combat stats as well. He also has 2 units of Ushapti Great Bows, really good AP ranged missile. For his lore choice, he took Cetra the Imperishable on his mount. You can see right here, so he's going to have the anti-large. And yeah, it looks like he brought, 3 different spells. The one that lowers melee attack, and I think the other one's the tornado thing. I'm still trying to memorize Tomb King's emblems. He also has a couple, looks like 1 Tomb Guard Halberds and another Skeleton Warrior in the back, supported by a Necrohorror Horse Masters. He also has 2 units of Skeleton Horse Archers here in the tree line as an ambush. So let's go ahead and just start it, guys, and see how it goes. I'm really excited to show you how these chariots work, because yeah, I might have found a new favorite unit. Because she was saying, MGO Amber, when we were having, and for you guys who don't know, she's like ranked like 13 on ladder, and she's like number 1 on Warhammer 1 ladder. So she has a lot of pedigree and a lot of experience with the game. So it's really interesting learning from somebody. Her, Lotus Moon, and all these other really top 10 players and stuff. And yeah, so I forget what my train of thought was, but yeah, these chariots here, they just perform really, really good. And like I said, you just leave them in skirmish in the beginning to try to find, and they can actually trade and deter like horse masters and things like that. It's surprisingly how effective they are. But then you'll put them on your Shopties and things like that. So yeah, right off the bat, I'm going to get my my bolt throwers as usual. I'll start focusing in on these Ushapti Great Bows. These are a threat, so I want to deal with these as soon as possible. I'm going to start getting my cav, getting everything into position. I'm going to get one of my magic missiles off here and just take a couple Ushapti bows here. And yeah, so now he sprang his trap with the Skeleton Horse Masters, so we're going over here. I'm going to try to screen out with one of my Harpies. And yeah, so now we're just getting these guys into position here. And and like I said, they're 115 missile damage, so they'll just keep shooting here. So that's just free armor piercing damage that I'm going to be getting into these really high value targets. Over here, you see a unit of Cold One Knights is coming around. What I'm going to try to do is get into these, this back line here as soon as he moves those halberds. And yeah, same with over here. You can see right now we're just getting ready to get a charge. I saw that he didn't have any anti-large here, so I'm going to get a nice juicy charge into these guys. And look at that damage. So yeah, I mean that's how you kind of can play the Cold One Knights more than any other chariot like the High Elves. Since they had that AP, they're just even that more effective. You can see that these bolt throwers the whole time have just been raining in on these Ushoptis, and they're doing a lot of damage. And I'm going to send my Harpies in here to try to shut down their range. Apologize for that lag there, guys. He is going to send his... Why is it doing that? He's going to send his Horse Masters here to try to deal with my Cold One Chariot. But you can see right here I have a Cold One Knight in reserve. Over here, my Dreadlord is just, shooting in using his AP damage. And we're just, we're taking out these Ushopti really quick. You can see the front lines have collided. I do have the advantage with the Argonef Executioners right here, so they're going to be able to last a little bit longer. Over here, Cetra is going to get into some of my Cold One Knights, and I see that the halberds are coming, and I try to pull them away, but unfortunately they rampage. So yeah, that's a really good pick for my opponent. Over here, you can see that the Chariots, the Harpies, we've just shut down that that whole Ushopti bow right there. And over here, you can see that my Cold One Knights have dealt with this unit of both of his units of skeleton archers. Excuse me, can't talk. So yeah, sir. I mean, if you look right now, it's looking pretty good for me. I've dealt with his front line. You can see I'm going to get another magic missile off here, and I'm going to get a rear charge onto these skeleton, these Tomb Guard. And the reason I do that is because I want them to crumble. Once they crumble, I'll have these Blackguard available, and he's going to get, I forget what it's called, but the thing that lowered the melee attack. But now I got, Argonef Executioners dealing with these guys. You can see right here, I'm going to get another charge into these Tomb Guard, and I'm just trying to free up my Argonef Executioners. I want them in the battle. You can see that one of my Cold One Knights finally did deal with the Skeleton Archers, and I will give the attack command here now to screen those guys off. Over here, he has 2 units of Tomb Guard have dealt with my spears pretty effectively, but yeah, it's looking really good for me. Those bolt throwers the whole time have just been raining in. You can see that my reserve unit of Cold One Knights is going to come, and now we've dealt with both his Ushopti. He is going to try to chase away my Dreadlord, but yeah, he has Skirmish, and now you can see I have 2 different units of Cold One Knights that are free, 2 Harpies, and yeah, so it's looking really good for me, guys. And then, this whole meantime, meanwhile, my my Chariots are just getting all these charges. Bolt throwers are shooting in on them. I do not know why this map lags like this. I really hope Santa Claus gets me a new computer. But yeah, you can see that the bolt throwers guys were just chipping him down. Same thing with over here. We're getting a rear charge in with my Harpies now. He does, that's what it's called. Ushep's Incation of Desiccation. So yeah, it lowers the melee attack. He is going to try to protect his lord here in this last little unit of Tomb Guard. I'm going to get a nice little charge bonus, but he is going to be able to get his Ushopti summon. But, that's a lot of anti-larges I have. I got, 3 different units. I got all my Chariots. I got, my Dreadlord. I have a lot of units that could deal with those Ushoptis. Balance of power right now is, pretty strong in my favor. But yeah, guys, you can see, I just have fire coming from almost every angle. I'm going to get another magic missile off right there. I do not know why it's doing that. Stop lagging. There we go. So, yeah, over here, the Chariots have pretty much dealt with these Tomb Guards, and I'm going to send them in here to the back here to start shooting at the Ushopti. But that is going to be army losses and another win for the Druki. So, good game to my opponent. I hope that guys kind of showed you how good the Chariots were. Also, I've been talking to a lot of people, and they say they don't ever use the Dreadlord with sword and crossbow. Yeah, he's so good, guys. He's actually my favorite generic lord out of any race because he's actually good. He actually has a cool little niche or a little something that makes him unique, which is that armor-piercing range. So yeah, if you look, guys, at the end screen, you can see that the Argonefs did amazing as usual. Spearmen did their jobs holding things in place. The bolt throwers were able to shut down those Ushoptis and snipe out Cetra. Cold One Knights performed. Everything just worked really good, and it was always a good feeling when your plan goes. So yeah, this is a really fun build to try, guys. Remember, like the Cold One Chariots. Not only do they deal with constructs or enemy cav, but they also are a deterrent to these guys right here. Horse Masters or Illyrian Reavers and things like that. So as for my opponent, this is a very strong build with a Tomb Guard. But yeah, against the Dark Elves, I don't think it's enough because you lack armor piercing, and Dark Elf will just have more superior infantry than you. But maybe he was expecting range. So, all right, guys, that's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that. Merry Christmas, and stay tuned for some more content. I have a lot of things coming up that I'm working on. So, my next guide, the Bunny Queen tournament, Game 2, and a couple other replays of mine. There was this one earlier when I played. There was this guy. He was a real prick. We played on ladder. He went Greenskins, and I was Dark Elves, and he beat me. But he did it really cheese-like. So, he got the win, and I went into another ranked game, and luckily enough, it was him again. And he took Wood Elves again, and I took Dark Elves, and I beat him. And it was such a good game, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. I might cast that tonight. So, all right, guys. It's Atticus. See you later.